And with yesterday's Riftbound previews, we got a 1-2 combination that will allow you to take control of any battlefield potentially unscathed. I'm Brett with UKVersus, and let's take a look at this physical rune combination which will just destroy battlefields. So yesterday we had another lot of content creator and media reveals, with some coming from Riot directly as well. And one of the cards that we got was Anivvia. I apologize if I butchered that. Anivvia is a 7 cost, 2 physical power, 8 might champion unit that has a triggered ability on attack that says deal 3 damage to all enemy units here. This is a perfect counter to strategies such as Victor, who uses a lot of recruits to stabilize battlefields and then utilizes buffing them and making them stronger, whereas this gets to just go cool, all of your units burn. You need to use all your combat tricks now, and you have to use multiples of them to save recruits or to save weaker units, and even then that free damage will stay there until after the showdown ends. So it basically is a nice AoE kind of burn, which is quite ironic from an ice bird. The issue is when you compare that with Warick. Warick Hunter is another physical rune champion unit that is a 6 cost, 1 physical power, 5 might unit that says I enter ready. When I attack, kill all damaged enemy units here. So because of how triggered effects work and how they stack on the initial chain, you are able to use Warick and Anivvia together to just go burn your entire board. Does not matter if your unit is a Volibear champion unit with 10, 12 power. Does not matter if you are running some of the biggest units in the world. And because it's unoffensive, there's not really many units that can even get around this. Because it's on the offensive strike, there's not many units that can get around this, because you send Anivvia, you send your units in, Anivvia triggers, deals 3 damage to anything, and then you have Volibear trigger going down the chain, and you have Warick trigger going down the chain, and Warick just blows up the board. This is powerful. Yes, you are looking at a 6 might and a 7 might unit, but the fact that Warick enters ready means that if you can get to 7 runes, you can play Anivvia. You can give your opponent 1 turn to deal with Anivvia, and you can have Warick enter ready, and then you just get to claim a battlefield. This is a very powerful unit, especially with Warick and Anivvia being 5 and 7 might respectively. It does limit what you can actually do to deal with them. So let's talk about the way that we can stop this before we look at the ways that we can protect them. So because these are triggered abilities, you can use actions and reactions to interact with them. You can deal them initial damage using things like Get Excited, Disintegrate, Voidseeker. They're not going to be enough to kill unless with Get Excited you are able to discard a card that has 5 or higher rune cost. A lot of the green spells are designed to, a lot of the calm spells are designed to increase your unit's might, which doesn't matter if they're just going to get wiped because they have damage on them. Windwall is probably the best answer Calm has to this, because you just counter Anivvia or Warick and you buy yourself an additional turn. It's very hard for any of these ones to be able to use it. Rebuke is a great one because you get to bounce something back to hand. Possession is an awesome one because you just take control, although it's quite costly on resources. Hidden Blade just allows you to kill the unit. Yes, you'll take the damage, but if they go Anivvia, I'll deal you 3 damage. You go cool, Hidden Blade, kill Warick, and then Warick cannot use their when I attack ability because the focus is not back on the aggressor yet. So there are ways to interact with it. Unfortunately, stun doesn't really do anything here unless you can stun them before they actually attack, because the aggressor has focus. So things like Zenith Blade will only work if Warick triggers first, which isn't really going to be a thing, or if they use any other ability first. But if their first activation on the initial chain is always Anivvia, then unfortunately Zenith Blade just doesn't do anything because you got stun, you can't deal damage. Like, I've already dealt the damage. This is a tough ability to interact with. Fog effects, we haven't seen all the cards, so maybe we'll see a fog effect which allows us to protect our units, but this combo is very powerful and has ways to protect itself. You can also push this even further by using battlefields and champion ability and legendary abilities to make it even stronger. If we take battlefields like Windswept Hillock, then you can utilize this combination to take the Windswept Hillock and give your units ganking, which means if they're still around on the next turn, you can then just move them over to the next battlefield immediately without having to move them back to your base and use the combination play again. It can be very powerful, very oppressing, and giving these units ganking will be a very powerful way to push this combination even further. You have other battlefields like Reaver's Row, which means that if you are going to be pushed, if your opponent just goes, I'm going all in on here, you can pull, say, Anivvia back, you can pull Warick back, and if you're using a legend such as Sett, which allows you to resurrect a unit if it's been buffed, you can then just go, okay, cool, I'm going to take Weaver's Row, I'm going to buff up Warick, and then when my opponent attacks me, I'm going to pull back Anivvia using the defense trigger, and then I'm going to exhaust my Sett to resurrect Warick when the showdown is over, meaning my combination play is back and I just get to throw them back at you again. This is a very solid combination play, and I am expecting to see some kind of turbo fog. Counters are going to be very important, but if your opponent gets this set up and is able to protect it, it's a very devastating 1-2 combo that I'm looking forward to seeing how people are going to be able to handle. Let me know, are you planning on running this combo? Have you found any ways to prevent this combination from just insta wiping a battlefield? Let me know in the comments below. How are you finding Riftbound preview season? Have there been any standout cards to you, or is there anything that you're just is there anything you're looking forward to getting your hands on this October? I will catch you all next time at Drift the Rift, and I will see you at game night. Bye.